This is Cece's dyslexia story. Hello, I'm Cece. I am dyslexic and I have dyscalculia. I found out that I was different around the age of 6, but no one talked about what it was until I was around 13 or so. My young school life wasn't very helpful, and I wasn't put in regular classes or even in special education. I was put in a more experimental thing called Aerosmith. And we never really practiced my reading or writing, and there was very little mathematics. I would only take part in regular classes for gym, art, and religion. I was in Catholic school. So I was often alone with little group and little social interaction. I was also discouraged from things that I was good at, like art, because I needed to work on the more important things. That's so sad and so common. By high school, it was a different world. But then I was somehow expected to read and write, but I still struggled because I wasn't taught. They would try and teach me, but they were too focused on the wrong thing, and they treated me like I wasn't very bright, and also would say, "Well, you won't be going very far in life, so just do what you can." On a project I worked very hard on where I wrote a letter from the perspective of someone else, I added a full family with a history, and I was told, "Oh wow, this letter is amazing. If only you had spelled things correctly, you would have gotten an A." I ended up dropping out of high school, not because I didn't love learning, but because of how my work was treated. It was affecting my mental health so much that I would be ill for days, and when I made it to school, I would have panic attacks or just dissociate. I was the one to teach myself to read and write, and I am still grappling with my very low self esteem that has been pushed on me by others, though I know that my dyslexia is something that I love about myself. I now create art, journal, and do creative writing. These things I can do right now for myself since I am a stay at home mom, but soon I'm going to get back. I'm going to get back to work, and I'm scared because I'm a high school dropout with no documents stating that I have a learning disability, and I can't get my GED to further my education. So now I'm in a state of limbo, and we'll see what happens to me as time goes on. Cece, thank you so much for sharing your story. The pain of being dyslexic and having that experience with your education, that had to be so hard. And it's no wonder that it led you to a place where you dropped out of high school, because to be treated that way, to have the work that you put in disregarded, like that's so sad and so painful. And I appreciate you sharing your story here. And if anyone else who's dyslexic wants to share their story, you can go to the link in my bio, click on the button that says share your story, and I will potentially share it here.